Welcome to your 2021 BMW M5 Competition. It's been a hell of a week for me. I finally got a chance to do some traveling. I did a long road trip from Mississauga to the Thousand Islands region and back. If you don't know, Thousand Islands is just outside of Kingston, Ontario, so about 3 hours one way. Power figures: 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, 617 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic. You can have all-wheel drive, or with the flick of a switch, you put it into rear-wheel drive, and that's just if all of your M settings are activated the right way. So driving wise, I'll do what I did in the city, then I'll talk about the longer road trip that I did. So as a daily driver, kind of toting around Mississauga, it drives really well. It's comfortable, not as comfortable and soft and supple as the regular 5 Series, which is my favorite modern BMW. Obviously the M5 Competition is tuned differently out of the factory. Even in comfort mode, it's a little stiffer, but still really comfortable. The seats have a lot to do with that, and I'll dig into that once we talk about the interior. But doing city speed limits, 50, 60, 70, depending on where you are done pretty well. There's a lot of bite underneath your right foot, and BMW has given us, like we said, a ton of horsepower, 617 to be exact, and the torque kicks in 1800 RPM. So be a little conscious of when you put your foot down, whether you're going off from a stop sign, a stop light, or just going up between like 40, 50, 60. There's a lot of power, again, even in comfort mode. As far as kind of just doing the parking lot thing and other city streets, it's still a 5 Series. Yes, I know it's amplified tremendously because it's an M5 competition, but it still has characteristics of I don't want to say normal, but of the 5 Series itself. As far as cornering handling goes, does it really well. Now the M5 Competition sits about, 0.27 inches or 7 millimeters lower than the standard 5 Series. Not really a lot. Yes, it does make a difference overall, but as a daily driver, it doesn't really affect me that much. So cornering handling at low speeds, done very well, pretty strong turning radius. And then if you're at higher speeds, like you are on the highway, it's very well planned. It sticks to the ground nicely. Now, the Pilot 4 Pilot 4 tires have a lot to do with that, and they're actually staggered tires. So it's 285, 30, 20 for the rear tires, and 275, 35, 20 for the front tires. So a little bit of extra on your rear tires. Say 50-50 split between driving myself and then activating the cruise control, which is really intuitive. You get the different spacers depending on how close or far you want to be from the car ahead of you. You got the lane, keep assist, everything just kind of keeps you centered. But overall, driving dynamics as a not utilizing the performance side of it is really strong. This is in comfort mode, nothing activated, no M1, no M2 as far as the buttons go. Just beside the gear shift, so I'm gonna put it into just regular, keep it in road mode, and just nothing moving there. Let's take a look, let's take a listen. Oh, okay. Yep, that's what it looks like, that's what it sounds like, and no extra head jerky moments from me. That's just how it went down. So I'll spin around, and now I'm going to pop it into sport mode and do the same thing. So sport mode, the dashboard does change, 12.3, 12.3. So let's take a look, let's take a listen. Put my head back all the way this time to be just a little extra safe. Here it comes. Oh, nope, didn't stop. Okay, stopped, and here it comes. Okay, well, there's that. So good, and this is such a strong vehicle, and it's planted. Now, I will mention one thing. I'm just gonna pull over for a quick sec here. To get it into the track mode, it doesn't do it automatically. So you just push the button, it goes road, it goes sport, and to go to track, you have to keep it pressed down. So they don't want you to accidentally get in there. So there's the activate track. Driver assistance systems cannot be activated. iDrive system is in standby modes, and do not use public roads. So they're really making sure that it's not an accidental tap of the button. You've got to intentionally get it into track mode. The audio system is shut off as well, so there are no distractions for you at all, because if you're on a track, the last thing you want to do is be distracted by anything. Full focus. So a couple of changes with the mid-cycle refresh. The lights are a little narrower, there's a larger air intake, the kidney grille is slightly refined, there's new lighting signature around the rear. Now this does have the upgraded $6,000 titanium exhaust system. I would get that. I would absolutely spring the $6,000 for that. Well, with $122,000 base price, what's $6,000, right? Just check your couch. If you're looking for, to have that extra audio enhancement to it, because it sounds so good. Good shape overall. There's that tiny thin black spoiler on the trunk. I think as it stands out, I think if it was body colored, I think I'd be a little happier with it. Not quite an Irk, more of a Quirk for me. Get a carbon fiber roof on top to lower the weight. Obviously have the M mirrors, and the rims look really sharp, and it just casts a really good profile. Moving on to the inside, you have a 12.3-inch infotainment system. You got a 12.3-inch digital dashboard. It's typical BMW. There's not a lot as far as new and completely redesigned things here. The HVAC system, the infotainment, everything kind of that falls down the middle here is the same. And yes, your infotainment system is still angled towards you. Gear shift, it's definitely an M1. It's not like your traditional BMW gear shift. So it's got this cool red accent stripe on the outsides of it, and you push to the right to get it to go into drive as opposed to pushing it back, and up and left is reverse, and it can also be used to change your gears. You've got your paddle shifters as well, and you have your M1, M2 buttons right at your thumbs at the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock position. Those are just your quick shortcuts to get the car into whatever preset modes that you've decided. All sorts of different options as far as what you want to do and how you want to do it. Move on to the inside. So big difference here is the 12.3-inch infotainment system, slightly angled towards the driver in typical BMW fashion. iDrive system is my favorite one in the industry because it is so intuitive, it is so easy to use, and it's a good balance if you don't want to use the touchscreen all the time. Yes, you still can. It's fairly close, or you used to use the controller just beside the gear shift, and again, so easy to use, full marks. Let's talk about the gear shift as we're in that general area. So it's definitely not what you have in your standard 5 Series. I'll do a quick cutaway to it now. So A, it looks cool, and B, I like that it's got the red accent stripes on it, a little M badge on it as well. You got your little drive mode controllers at the top. You can go up or down, and again, it's very, very easy, very centralized. You got your paddle shifters as well, and your M1 and M2 buttons right at your thumbs at 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and those are your presets. So if you want it to be explosively fast, maybe throw that down as your M1. And if you want something very fast, but not quite as explosively fast, pop that into your M2. And there's lots of different ways you can configure things. Back to the interior, looking at the gear shift area, BMW has streamlined this, because before it was a little, not complicated, but it was a little busy. But now basically it's just setup and mode, and that gets you through everything. And you activate those, and this comes up through your infotainment system. But I like that it's an easier way to do things now. A very first world problem, I will fully admit that. Oh no, there was like 4 buttons. What am I going to do? Now there's only 2. But I like the way that it's been streamlined and just so well designed. It's easy to reach, and it's easy to get through all of your controls that you need. Steering wheel, typical BMW, big, thick, heavy. Not in a bad way. The steering's a little heavy, but the steering wheel, like physically itself, It does feel good. Seats are very comfortable. When I did my long road trip, I had zero driver fatigue. Yes, the side bolsters are powered, and it's a really, really comfortable place to spend time if you're not on a track, and you don't need all of the seats to kind of hug around you. It's still, and I mentioned this in the beginning part of the video, it's still a great daily driver seats, full marks here. If one of these fell off the back of a truck and landed on my driveway, I think it would be my new office chair. Just that's how comfortable the seats are. Now, I don't think I'd change anything about the interior. The way BMW Canada has spec'd this, it looks really sharp with the black versus tan and just the accent pieces here. I generally like all black, but because it's a carbon fiber roof, which is black on the interior, sorry, I think if it was all black, it'd feel a little closed in. So if you are looking at M5 Competition, consider putting some color on the interior. Fuel consumption, so 76 liter tank, you gotta put the good stuff in because, well, it's a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 and you can't throw 87 in. Well, you could, you definitely shouldn't. 93 octane for me. And not that it matters, because I don't think fuel consumption is going to be a deciding factor, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So in liters per 100 kilometers, as per Natural Resources Canada, we are at 16 for the city, 11 on the highway, and our blended total comes out to 13.8. It's not exorbitantly high, but what's that? I hate cliche sayings, but I think it applies in this case. It is what it is, right? Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the 2021 BMW M5 Competition. Beautiful vehicle. 5 Series is my favorite modern BMW. Yes, I would take, a non-M5 Competition as an everyday driver, but if someone offered up an M5 Competition, I would absolutely take that as my daily driver. If you've got any questions on the vehicle, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support, and feel free to subscribe, and feel free to tell somebody about the channel who you think might be interested in what it is that I do. Until the next time I see you, be well, be healthy, be safe.